I'm not doing it because I wouldn't do it word for word. I'd sit there and go answer it to the best of your abilities, sir. This question has so many different answers, but ignore it because half of it's a pile of crap. I can't be trusted. I tell you, really can't be trusted. That's right, you rank 11 pain in my ass, you put your head in your hands.
Pixie, how many arrests do you want them to have before being ranked from 2 to 3?
From 2 to 3. I did write it down. I did send Betty a whole thing over, but she hasn't posted it. Did I send you it as well already? The big one that I sent, I think, the day before. I think it was the 5 arrests after they've done 5 arrests with a trainer, basically. But right now, that is not possible because of the lack of amount of officers that are available. Like I said, we have more boot camp members than we have officers that are qualified and actually SWAT and above.
Yeah.
It's physically not possible to be able to do that with them.
We'll talk about that in the meeting this afternoon.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Like a record, baby, right.
Yes, are you able to rank up Majestic, please? He's on his blue live.
Wasn't there that thing that we had to wait like 2 days? Who told me this?
I can't say everything I'd like to say due to the officers that are standing here.
Oh, say anything in front of me.
Jason, can you go down, please?
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I just want to say, the other person I speak to is that pillar over there.
Oh, fella over there.
We can't have these conversations.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
It's alright. I'll word it differently. I'll word it in a different way.
Come on, Jason, so we'll go have our conversation where the generals can't hear it because they're not allowed. Sorry, I had to be
I can't be bothered to wait. I was under the impression that when me and Betty had a conversation regarding boot camp, the officers that have been here previously and officers that have been on our servers and so forth that actually know what they're doing, if they have passed their training for each section and have hit the requirements, there is no reason for them to be delayed in being ranked up. This causes a backlog. He is more than competent to be ranked up from a rank 0. There's no need to keep him down, and I don't see any reason for that.
Who's that? Majestic?
Yeah, I don't. Why? Are we
Yeah, I can get his arrest training done. That's no problem. Before I have to go off again, I can get his arrest training done.
No, it's not that. It's he's ranked 0 and he needs to be ranked up. But Ari is saying about the 2 days thing. However, the 2 days thing should only apply for certain officers that step forward, in my opinion. If they need them 2 days, then they'll have them 2 days. But if they're officers that are more than competent to get ranked up, I don't think they should be withheld. And that's what's been happening, which is why we have 32 boot camp members.
Jesus
32. It should, withholding someone from a rank 0 to a rank 1, I don't think is necessary.
To be honest with you, I think depending how they left, would be the way it goes down.
Oh, all I know is right now we're currently at 32. If we don't rank up some of these rank zeros that have passed their blue lights because you want to wait 2 days or longer, then that means by the time in 2 days, I'm going to then have an influx of at least 15 new members because you're doing interviews all day long. So last night we had so many new members. Today we've already had so many new members. That boot camp list is going to get longer and longer and longer. And then it's going to go straight back to how it was when Amy and that lot were in charge of it, because the system is not working and it needs to be fixed. And if it's not going to get fixed, then we're going to get complaints. Because withholding someone for 2 days at rank 0, I don't think is a good idea, because then it just backlogs it all. And then the time people get to rank 1, do you know how many arrest trainings are going to be needed, like all at the same time? How many people are going to be going, well, they've just had theirs, we need ours. And there's going to be a list of like 20 odd people that are going to need training at one given time. And that's not going to work.
No, I agree, but we'll have to be the same for everyone that falls under the same criteria.
Okay.
And
I will keep this 2 days, and what happens, isn't
it? That would mean everyone that has joined that has PD experience and, they're knowledgeable, they know what they're doing. They don't have that period.
I just think that the whole interview system shouldn't have been changed until it had been spoken about, to be perfectly honest, because now we have a huge influx of bootcamp members and I have no trainers, and I don't understand why the interview thing is all being changed. Like yesterday we had interviews all day long, all night long, again with today. Like it's not going to work. I don't know why it was changed without discussion.
We had three interviews, and one that was made by Harland because he offered himself.
But it shouldn't have been changed. Like the time should be kept the same. You said about fairness of boot campers coming in. Well, it's not fair that we've changed the system up to allow Miss Punisher, Mr. Punisher, and everybody else that is returning officers to have interviews at any time of day. That's not fair. So it can't be that it's unfair to do one thing, but it's not unfair to do another thing. Like, it has to be consistent. So if we're changing the style of interviews, we need to change the style of boot camp.
No, I agree that officers that have experience, new officers that have experience in what they're doing, they should be ranked up. I'm not opposing to that.
Okay, no worries.
I agree 100% because when I was in the position, I also didn't like being held back, especially knowing like how things run. So I do agree with you, but obviously, like it was told yesterday, that it had to be 2 days cooldown to be ranked up, and that's what I'm going through, and that's why I asked for the meeting this afternoon, just so we can clear everything up. Obviously, you are the lead of the academy. You are able to make those changes.
And then changes happen, and then I'm not allowed to be irritated. I'm not allowed to say anything, because if I do, I get told I'm throwing my toys out the pram. So I just have to go, okay, thanks for chucking this on me and not even letting me know in advance. Like, and then it makes my work look poor because I'm not being informed of things, and that's not fair. Yeah, we'll get to
don't do that. You got 2 reps because you were disrespectful. Pixie has never been disrespectful towards anyone.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm really sorry.
But yeah, that's why. Sorry, go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, no one's even calling you, Harlan. Don't worry, darling.
Yeah, but I get where Pexy's coming from. Though. Why have a set time on interviews when it's just being ignored for new members to come back? Or old members to come back? surely it should just apply. The rule should apply for the interview times for everybody, whether they're returning PD or not. Because all you got to do is, if you get a civilian coming that's obviously standing next to them, and someone goes, "Oh yeah, we can do your interview," and then you turn around to a civilian and go, "Oh yeah, sorry, I can't do your interview. We're not allowed." Then it's going to cause an uproar because that civilian's going to be stood there going, "Well, hang on a minute. You said you can do his interview, but you're not doing mine. That's not fair."
And if we can rush those same officers through interviews, why am I not allowed to rush them through boot camp?
But you can, but it needs to be discussed. And don't make assumptions on why those officers are now in PD, because it has nothing to do because they are ex-PD. The interviews were
I'm
allowed
not making
because
assumptions. I'm just saying about the interviews. We have set times. We have set dates.
Okay,
for
why
them.
do we have
Why
the set
change
times?
them?
Why do we have the set times for the interviews? Can you explain to me?
Well, interviews daily were what, 9:30 till 2:15 or whatever they were. So if the interviews during the day finish at 2:15, why are people still doing interviews 5:30, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night? Apart from obviously interview nights where they're from 9:15.
Answering what I asked you. I asked you, why do we have set times for the interviews?
Because we've always had set times for the interviews. Daily
But there was
interviews
a
have been
reason behind it.
9:30 till like 4:30.
Okay, but there was a reason behind it, right?
Yeah, to stop. I don't know what it was, but it was to try and bring more people in. But if you get an interview past 4:30, then it shouldn't be done because it's not between the times and it's not an interview night.
Okay, no, that wasn't the reason why there was a set time. The set time was to not prevent the generals, right? So we have low numbers. Who did the interviews? It was me. Harlan offered to do one, so he could do one. I didn't request anyone to stop doing their jobs to come to do interviews, so it didn't affect anyone. It's more numbers in the PD, which we need because we don't have anyone online most of the times. And I understand what Chrissy is saying, and she's absolutely right. But that's, we'll discuss that this afternoon, because I agree with you that we shouldn't be holding people back in their ranks, especially if they know what they need to do. But it needs to be discussed. For me, I would rank them up. I know they know what they're doing, but I can't go over what Betty said to me yesterday.
It's just more rank 0. It's just the rank 0. Like, that's the only one that, and other situations as well. But yeah, we'll discuss it later. It would just be nice if everyone got updated when things happen. Like, when the higher ups make decisions, you're not updating people, and then it causes these situations because people are like, well, hold on, what's going on? Like, it makes it look a certain way, which obviously is not your guys' intentions. So then it leads to people like Josh and everybody else saying what they're saying. It's just confusing.
No, I understand
know that.
and you're right. And that's why I asked for the generals to have a meeting this afternoon. But it's also not fair to come and make assumptions on why things are being done and accuse wrongly of things that are not being done, like allowing other old officers to come. Or please don't talk over me. I know you do that with Betty. With me, you're not going to do that.
I'm just saying, who's accusing here? No one's accusing nothing.
You did accuse that we were allowing all PD officers to come back, and that's the only reason they had.
I wasn't accusing. It was just making an assumption.
It's the second time you're doing that. It's the second time you're doing that. You are not going to talk over me. I am not Betty.
Let Miss Aria speak, please, Josh. Come on.
You stood there and you accused that they were only allowed interviews because they were old police officers, and that is not the reason. Anyone that has a higher level, that they are knowledgeable, they are allowed interviews during the afternoon because we need the numbers, not because they are ex-PD officers. Obviously, I am not going to call anyone back from their duties outside if it's a rank level 5 that barely can speak on the microphone for them to make an interview, because that wouldn't be fair on the officers that are doing something outside. But if it's a high-level player that has it's elaborate while speaking and has knowledge, I will do the interview if I'm available. If anyone offers to do the interview, they can take the interview, and that is fine. Because we do need the numbers.
Yeah, but this is what we're saying though. No one's getting told anything, and it seems like because they were XPD, like I just said, they're getting an interview past the interview times that we've all set up. That's been in place for ages. That's all I'm saying. I'm not accusing anybody. I'm not making assumptions. I'm just saying interviews are being held past times that have been set up for months and months and months, and just because they seem to be XPD or whatever reason, yeah, the interviews are being held past the times, which is, like Pixie said, and like probably most people would agree, is unfair on other people, because if you've got a civilian coming in at that time as well, stood next to them, and you're turning around and saying, "Oh, I can do your interview, sir, but I can't do yours. I'm sorry." Well, then a
And
civilian's going to kick off.
that's when you use your common sense, and obviously you're not going to interview anyone.
Common sense, Aria. You can't hold interviews past if you've got certain times set on it. That's what I'm saying. But you lot seem to go, "Oh, it's okay. You can do an interview whenever you like." But then
that's not
at other
up to,
times,
that's not, I'm sorry, but that is not up to you for you to decide.
I'm not saying it's up for me to decide, but it's just stupid how we've had times in all the time for certain times during the day and for interview nights and everything, and now it's all getting chucked out the window.
So, but how is this upsetting you? How is this causing you any trouble when the interviews in the afternoon, I've been the one doing them?
I'm not saying it's upsetting me. I'm just saying if there's times in place for the certain interviews like there used to be, yeah, stick to those times. Don't go going over them just because people want to join at 5:30. Well,
Just because I was the interview lead?
They want to come at 5:30. Well, tell them to come back earlier then, because the times that are set up. Don't just do their interview just because they were doing something else during the game. The interview times are there for reasons.
And yet I was the interview lead, and I decided that I could do interviews. Is that okay with you, Josh?
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you're not interview lead anymore, are you? Because you're a DFG, so that
No, exactly. I am the DFG, and I am allowed to do whatever I please. So please don't question me, especially in front of generals. If you have anything to say to me,
I'm not questioning
don't agree with
you.
what I
just
do,
saying.
you call me in private, and we can have a conversation. But I will not allow anyone to try to step on me, ever, ever, ever.
I'm not stepping on you. I'm just proving a point.
You are trying to. You are trying to.
And like you said, you were lead of interviews. Yeah, you were. You're now DFG. So that lead of interviews has been took off you because you're a DFG, like it does with everybody else.
Okay, I give up on trying to explain to you.
Not stepping on anyone's toes. I'm just making a point. Interviews have got time. Stick to them or don't bother doing them.
This would be a really good time for a hostage or something.
Is there anyone else that would like to point their opinion, obviously in a calm manner?
Mine wasn't a calm manner. I thought wasn't very stressful or anything for me.
No, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have like a meeting this afternoon. Obviously, I agree with you, PC. They shouldn't be held in their ranks for that long, especially 2 days. When first they know their things, and second they can be assets outside. So I think it would be beneficial to the faction, in all honesty.
Yeah, for sure. My headache's finally gone. Only took 3 days.
That's surprising.
I feel like it's just going to come back again by the end of the day.
Will you be available like around 3 p.m.?
I think it was a stress headache, you know, I'll be real. I really do.
Yeah, it probably was.
Because I went to bed so early yesterday and I think I needed that like long sleep and just chill time.
Oh, you didn't miss much. That event was so weird.
I wouldn't have gone to the event anyway. Any event with medics involved, I do not attend because they're all so rude. Like, and there's always like drama at these events and people always get in trouble at these events. I didn't attend events when I was in medics at any rank, even a CP. I will not be attending them here neither. It's too loud.
We have to rescue them, but then the admins put them in a place where we couldn't get out of there without being teleported out. It's just like, what?
That made no sense. I use the time when everyone's at events, I use it as a time of peace. It's like when you're a head teacher or a teacher in a school and all the kids go on a school